Is Joseph with us?
Yes, I'm sorry. Had trouble finding unmute for a second.
Please proceed. Thanks, Joseph.
Thank you. Good afternoon, members of the committee. My name is Joe Sakalovic. I am the Vice Chair of the Bridgeport Board of Education. I'm speaking in part as an individual today and in part as a board member. The views I express that I'm sharing are my own, but the consequences I describe are felt by public school districts across Connecticut. I'm here to urge you to ensure that this legislature advances, when this legislature advances new mandates, that you also advance the revenue necessary to sustain them and to increase the ECS foundation so districts can offset these new costs. House Bill 5470 cannot be evaluated in isolation. The real world, North school districts like Bridgeport experience legislation one bill at a time. We are experiencing the damaging impact of every mandate heaped upon a chronically underfunded system. That cumulative impact is the real issue before you. This bill advances a laudable environmental objective, but without permanent, dedicated revenue, it also creates a predictable and avoidable damage to public education budgets. Most districts, including Bridgeport, do not own school buses. We contract transportation to private vendors. Those vendors will absorb the upfront costs of hybrid or zero-emission buses, infrastructure upgrades, financing, insurance, and utilities, and then pass those costs directly to the districts through long-term contracts. Grants do not resolve this problem. Grants expire. Transportation contracts do not. When the grant funding disappears, the costs remain year after year, budget after budget. Because transportation is a legally mandated service, districts have only two options when these costs arise: increase local property taxes or cut educational services. There is no third option. This is where rising transportation costs collide with the unfunded mandates and underfunded ECS formula, escalating special education expenses, collective bargaining obligations, and deferred maintenance. Something always gives, and what gives is not bureaucracy, it's direct student services. In Bridgeport, we already operate with one of the leanest administrative structures in the state. So when costs increase, we are not trimming excess. We are deciding what on earth can we cut from a district that has no librarians. When librarians were cut, student lost access to literacy support, research skills, and safe, trusted adults. These are not abstract impacts. Whatever the governor and his body forces us to cut next will hurt our children even more than the loss of librarians. Of course, as always, wealthier districts will absorb these costs. High poverty districts like Bridgeport, Hartford, New Haven, and New Britain will not. As written, this policy risks widening educational inequities while speaking the language of equity. The outcome is avoidable if revenue moves with mandates. The Bridgeport Board of Education supports passage of the revenue bills currently before the legislature, including HB 5187, HB 5133, SB 101, SB 104, I'm almost done. We urge you to use the resulting revenue to raise the ECS foundation to at least $16,500 and permanently index it to inflation. That is how environmental goals are achieved responsibly. That is how librarians may one day return to our schools. That is how mandates stop becoming cuts. There is no environmental justice without fiscal justice. There is no education equity without sufficient funding. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Joseph, for your testimony and for your service on behalf of the students and parents of the city of Bridgeport. We recognize how challenging that is with your resources. Representative Hughes has a question.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and thank you, Joseph. Good to hear you explain the intersection of economic and environmental justice, especially from an environmentally justice impacted community. You know that this is not our purview, obviously, to raise the ECS formula foundation, but good point. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And it's important everybody understands the impact of both sides of the issues.
Thank you, Representative. Are there any other questions or comments? If not, thank you for your testimony, Joseph, and best of fortune in looking out for Bridgeport's fortunes.
Thank you. Have a great day, everybody.
Jeff Hinsky, followed by Anna Lucy. Is Jeff with us?
Afternoon. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Please.
Hello, co-chairs Needleman and Steinberg, ranking members Fazio and Mira, and all of the members of the Energy and Technology Committee. Thanks for this opportunity to speak with you today. My name is Jeff Hinsky. I'm the Vice President